So we heard about SMS. We heard earlier about brands that are from the panel, brands that need to be authentic. We also heard about sustainability. Now we can hear about ways to incorporate cause marketing that make us more money and actually give back at the same time with Savanah from Shop and Give. Savanah, how's it going?
Going well. How are you, Derek?
Hey, thanks for jumping on. I know your team member had like a Wi-Fi emergency and you had to take over for her. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Of course, always happy to talk impact.
Yeah. And I'm always happy as well. I'm going to share your screen here and I'm just going to let you take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are enjoying this event so far. As Derek mentioned, my name is Savanah White. I am the head of partnerships at Shop and Gives. And today we're going to go over how you can do good and do well. So how to integrate successful social impact into your business and how that can actually improve your bottom line. So I first want to speak on why it's important to think about cause marketing in today's day and age. As I'm sure many of us know, there is a new generation of consumers who are really focused on value buying. So what do they believe in? They want to see retailers doing more than just turning a profit. They want to see that their values are really represented in the brands that they support. And they're going to be more loyal and even more generous to the brands that they see those values represented in. In fact, retailers are currently spending over $20 billion in digital advertising to acquire and retain Generation Impact, as we call them. So the millennials and Gen Z, zillennials that are out there, they have a massive buying power, and yet less than 1% of retailers are actually activating on cause marketing, even though that is a space that is growing year over year. And the reason why is that there are a couple things that have been a little bit prohibitive of brands moving into a cause marketing space, from the management of it, purely from making sure a nonprofit is well selected and is actually getting the funds, all the way through to the regulation and the pieces that go into actually creating a partnership with a nonprofit. And that's just to begin. And those are some of the reasons that we built Shop and Gives. We are a social impact commerce platform. We are really trying to democratize cause marketing and to keep it as simple and as streamlined as possible. We enable you to do good so that you can focus on the good that you're doing rather than how you are going to go about doing it. So really making it easy for brands of any size to give back to nonprofits of any size. We're going to be talking a lot today about cause marketing and donating a portion of sales. So just to cover all the bases, I want to make sure we go over some of the must-haves you need to keep in mind when you are giving back a portion of your sales. First, you have to register and file the correct agreements. So there's a lot of regulation that I kind of hinted at that goes into cause marketing. You have to have commercial co-venture. There are bonds in certain states that you have to have in place, solicitation agreements, and you just need to make sure that those are taken care of. Our app does all of that for you as well, but just make sure that if you're partnering with a nonprofit, you cover your bases with that. Secondly, you have to be transparent with your customer and share their donation amount. It's not enough to say 5% of proceeds or 5% of profits. Your customer doesn't know how much that is. So they might think, oh, wow, $10 are being donated, but as a brand, you know that it's really $3. You just want to make sure that you're being as clear as possible with your customer so that they know the amount of money that's being given back. Third, make sure you get permission to use names and logos from your nonprofits. Just as you as a brand likely wouldn't want any old influencer to say that she's working with you and use your logo and say that you guys are partnered, nonprofits function the same way. There are going to be trademarks and copywritten content that you have to make sure you have approval on before you share it out. And then finally, as you might assume, you need to have records of your giving in case of auditing. So charitable donations are helpful come tax time, but you have to make sure you keep a record of all of that because you can't be claiming to make charitable donations when you're not. So if you want to learn more about some of those pieces, we do have a helpful kind of walkthrough of it on our website, as well as some information as to how Shop and Gives covers all of those for you too. But now that we've covered the regulation piece, we get to jump into the fun 3 power strategies. This is something that we work through with all of our partners and anyone who's getting into the social impact space. These are kind of our top tips for how to get started. First, always remain authentic and holistic in your impact. Second, customer engagement really counts. And third, of course, measurement matters. That's going to be the do well side of this. So to start with authenticity, kind of my favorite part of these 3, you always want to lead with your values. If you are a new brand and you're not really sure what you want to do in terms of social impact or where you want to go with it, we recommend looking at these 4 key pillars. So your team, that would be obviously the employees that work with you. They are going to be your front line of defense. They are going to be your first line influencers. So what do they care about? How can you make sure that they feel represented in the giving that you're doing? If you have a lot of people on the team that have rescued pets, maybe you want to give back to animal rights organizations, and then they can be advocates for it as well. From your community, this is going to be anyone from your neighborhood all the way to the community of customers that you have. So who helped you kind of grow your business into what it is? What do they care about? If you're a small local business and you have a small local nonprofit, try and support them and kind of keep those homegrown roots. Similarly, on your customer side, what do your customers care about? If you have a really large base of consumers that are focused in the LGBTQ community, help them feel represented by supporting those causes as well, and do so beyond just Pride Month. Do it evergreen year round to make sure they feel represented. Finally, your product. So let's say you're a stationery brand. You can assume that trees are going to be cut down to be making your material. So how can you give back to those resources as a means through your business? So planting trees potentially, or if you make reusable water bottles, maybe you're donating to clean the oceans. How can your product kind of help feed that giving aspect? When you're building this from the ground up, you're likely not going to hit on all four. I would actually be very impressed if you could hit on all four. But if you really want to dial into one, we recommend doing that as a great way to kind of kick off your giving. Once you have this kind of story in place and this giving aspect that you have in mind, make sure to publish it and share it on your website. So we've all seen impact pages. A lot of websites have these nowadays, beyond just digitally native brands as well. One of our partners, White & Warren, we love their impact page. They speak about the American Heart Association. They have a very close connection to that nonprofit. And what we love about their impact page too is that they speak on more than just the donations that they're creating for the nonprofit. They talk about their goal and what they hope to donate, but they also talk about what goes into healthy heart health. How do you take care of your heart? How do you live a healthy life so that you are at lower risk for any sort of heart disease? Which is really important and very helpful to see that their nonprofit goes beyond just those monetary donations. On a similar vein, make sure you're including that in your marketing, which we'll get into later as well. But you can see White & Warren on the left here, even on social, is speaking about American Heart Association. On the right, Anatomy, they actually change their causes every month. And while some people might take pause there and think, oh, well, are they really giving back? Like, why are they changing every month? They have a very consistent message in that change. And they really vet their nonprofits, and they want to make sure that every nonprofit gets funds from them and they're able to support a lot of different causes that matter to them. And that's what's really important, is that consistency. They don't switch around and keep their customers in the dark. They're really sharing that story with their customers, and that's what makes it so beneficial. Moving right along. Second, customer engagement counts. You want to make sure that you're including your customer in that conversation. An impact page can be hard to find sometimes unless someone's looking for it. So how can you bring your customer into that story beyond just saying that you're giving back a little bit? We kind of have a crawl, walk, run idea with this one. So again, as you're starting out, you might start from the education side, but as you grow and grow, you'll move into testing your marketing channels, and then of course, remarketing and personalization as well. So from the education piece, you always want to make sure you're telling your customer about what's going on. So a homepage banner is a great way to do that. You're bringing the giving front and center as soon as a customer steps on site. An eyebrow banner is a great way to do this too. I know a lot of brands have expensive real estate on the homepage. So an eyebrow banner is a little bit more subtle, but still keeps giving top of mind. You also want to make sure you're making announcements in any other kind of mediums that you have. So you can see on the left and right, this is Ursa Major. They did a special activation where they were planting trees. And so they shared with their customer via email what their goal was, that they were going to plant 2 trees with every order for the month of May. But then at the end of the month, you can see on the right, they actually shared a breakdown of how many trees they were able to plant, which is really helpful in keeping your customer informed of your giving. In the center here, we also have Neighborhood Goods. They did this for COVID-19, sharing it on Instagram, how they were joining in the relief effort as well. So really bringing your customer into that conversation. To engage them even further, you can do a couple other things with giving beyond just the transactional donations. Maybe you want to include some form of giving in your rewards program. You want to reward customers for giving back, or even allow customers to use their points that they've earned through rewards programs to donate more. We have an experience out of the box with Yapco that allows them to do this, but we have seen it homegrown as well. Very fun activation to see how your customers are more loyal when there is impact. This is just a look at how you can have your customers redeem those points. Another way to engage your customer that's really amazing is actually allowing them to choose their own cause and choose kind of their own adventures they're going through in giving. So you'll remember that customers really want to see their values represented. So as a brand, if you don't have one cause that you want to support, you rather want to support all of your customers, enable them to pick a cause that means the most to them and support them and say, we believe in what you believe in. When you shop with us, you're making an impact for your cause, and enable that right out of the box. So our technology helps manage that, but a lot of different ways that you can do it with your customer by just allowing them to pick one of their interactive causes on the site and kind of build it yourself as well. Another way to kind of look at giving is to do capsule collections. So if you're a brand that focuses a lot on many different causes, or if you have a lot of collaborations, why not actually allow your customer to support a cause by picking the item that they want to give back on? So all pink shirts give back to breast cancer awareness. All green shirts give back to saving the planet, so on and so forth. It's a great way to see, okay, are our customers shopping these products because they care about these causes? Or are they really just buying whatever they want and the giving is an extra incentive? Of course, you can talk about customer engagement without talking about customer-led donations as well. An important note I want to make when we discuss customer donations is that as a brand, we believe that you should always be giving back first. You should always be asking your customers to join you in giving back rather than asking them to sponsor your giving. So really make sure that you're giving even 1% or 50 cents per order per item before you say to your customer, hey, why not round up a donation? You want to make sure they feel included rather than like they're running the giving show for you. And of course, you can do those roundups, small incremental impact. That's really fun to kind of watch pile up. Micro actions do lead to macro impact, and it's fun to kind of report on that to your customers as well. For testing your cross-channel marketing, I know we did go over some marketing before, but these tests are a little bit more in-depth. You want to engage your audience by sharing on social and on any other mediums that you're using. So those emails that we touched on before, you can see the swipe up on Highline Wellness specifically that leads to the Learn More page where they can see what exactly those their giving initiative is, and their customer can really take part there. Also influencing with giving in mind. So beyond just your organic social and kind of including it in your evergreen messaging, how can you enable your ambassadors and your influencers to make a difference as well? So this is an example from our partner Highline Wellness. They had a collaboration with Hannah Bronfman, who is a well-known wellness influencer. She had chosen a specific number of causes that she wanted to support even more on her products. So you can see that 25% of proceeds was going to the NAACP, ACLU, Campaign Zero, and Equal Justice Initiative. If you're paying really close attention, you'll notice that I said you cannot say 25% of proceeds or of proceeds. The reason that this is okay is because when a customer did go on site and they added these items to their cart, that 25% was reflected in a dollar amount. So if someone bought 10 bath bombs and it ended up being, $2.50 that was donated, or if they just bought one, they were able to see how much was actually donated in dollar amount. So you can also do dedicated campaigns and special activations. So really make sure you're paying attention to those key dates throughout the year, especially if you have a tied in impact message. If you guys are really focused on LGBTQ, really focus during Pride Month. If you're really focused on saving the planet, make sure you're paying attention during Earth Month. This was for Giving Tuesday, the biggest giving day of the year. It's the Tuesday following Black Friday. So our partners, Tomboy X, were talking to their customers about how they could give back. And then, of course, with the SMS, very hot topic nowadays, you can make sure to share your giving just as you would in an email. See how that relates to your customers, if they're interested in that engagement, how impact messaging is really relaying to them. And then sharing a link, of course, to your impact page or even to where they're shopping and they can give back. For remarketing and personalization, want to make sure you're keeping giving top of mind for your customers, but as they are more valuable and will come back more often, how can you engage them to do so? 83% of millennials say it's important for the companies that they buy from to align with their beliefs and values. So again, how are you going to get your customers to feel represented and feel like their values are represented? There are a couple different ways that we've seen this from a top of funnel activation standpoint. One being that your nonprofits are going to have massive interest sizes and massive followings already. You can see here, these are some numbers that we pulled from Facebook of people who care about these nonprofits. What you can do as a brand, especially if you're trying to see which causes you want to support, is target specific interest sizes with the giving ads that speak to the same cause. So as an example, we do have a partnership with Feeding America, and that's why we use them as the example here. But if you wanted to run an ad that said, when you shop, we donate to end hunger, we can actually add in that specific cause and allow your customer to follow the link back to your site where you are giving back to hunger already. And then they'll be able to donate to that specific cause for you. You could run several of these at the same time and allow your customers to see, okay, I clicked the hunger ad, so I'm giving back to fight hunger. Or someone else might see the animal rights ad and are clicking off to see there. And you can see, our animal rights advocates, the ones who are most engaged, are the fighting hungers most engaged, or what overlap is there between our business and these cause affinities? Which cause should we be continually supporting? Another way to do it on the other side of getting back to those customers and remarketing to them after you know what they care about, you can actually create segments based on the nonprofit category. So let's say you run those 3 ads. There's sustainability, animal rights, and LGBTQ. Create those audience pools and then send out those generic ads again for remarketing that say, when you look good, you save the planet. And that'll go to those customers who are caring about saving the planet and caring about the sustainability initiatives, and they can come back in and shop again. Finally, measurement matters. This is the one that's most exciting for a lot of our businesses. We understand that you're in the business of making money, so we want to enable you to make more and give back more in the process. We always want to make sure you're measuring from an impact perspective first. Like I said, your customers want to be a part of that impact story, that impact journey. So make sure that they know, okay, I donated $1 on my purchase, but what does that really do? Tell them at the end of the year how many dollars you were able to donate, how many trees you were able to plant, and really make them feel like a part of that story. But as a brand internally, you can celebrate those lifts in bottom line and ROI. We like to call it RODS, so return on donation spend, our playful little spin on return on ad spend. And we have seen that our partners have seen lifts in conversion rate up to 19%, average order value up to 23%, and even an increase in lifetime value of 18% for multiple times donating customers. So doing good really does mean doing well. You can also include tracking in Google Tag Manager and analytics to see how your customers who are engaging with impact are performing as compared to those who are not. And with Shopping Gives specifically, you're able to actually see how those donations are relating to bottom line with key insights at a bird's eye view. You can see average order value as compared with donations versus without, and activation rate if you choose to see your customers, or to allow your customers to say, I do want to donate, so I'm going to give back and elect a cause. So again, for getting started in cause marketing, there are 3 power strategies that we recommend. The first is always to remain authentic and holistic in your impact. Second is really making sure you're engaging that customer. And third, always make sure you're measuring both from an impact perspective and from your business perspective to see how doing good relates to doing well. If you want any more information about Shopping Gives, we are natively integrated on any CMS platform. We have a Shopify app, but can install on BigCommerce, Magento, Salesforce as well. We manage donations fully from collection all the way through to disbursement. And then you have all that access to data and business insights as well. We already work with some top D2C retailers like the ones you see on here, but we love to grow our giving economy. So if you ever want to learn any more, feel free to check us out or shoot us a quick email. And we have some time for questions. So if anyone has any, feel free to shoot them over.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Savanah. We've got Chrissy from her session earlier on sustainability saying this is brilliant in chat. I think
Thanks,
you two
Chrissy.
go hand in hand. Sustainability, obviously a great component to give back. Planting trees and reducing carbon footprint was a big point of her talk. I learned something in that session, which was apparently sending an email costs 4 grams of carbon. I had no idea it was so expensive.
And keeping your inbox full too. So make sure you're clearing out those old emails as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually use a tool called Superhuman for superhuman male speed and strength and all of that stuff. But yeah, a great session, everyone. If you haven't incorporated cause marketing in the past, I highly recommend that a portion of your business is dedicated to helping others. And Savanah has proven, and Shopping Gives as a whole has proven that you can make more money while giving back. So why aren't we all doing it? And with the authentic, I kind of said this at the top, but the authenticity of a brand being so important in how VCs view you, from being
Mhm.
investable as well as being sellable as a brand. And so it's really important to have a certain component of cause inside of the brand. So thank you so much, Savanah, for joining us. We're going to hop into our closing keynote.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Derek.
Awesome.